Welcome to Green Team's final case study. This case study is about Panera Bread. Within this PowerPoint, we will be examining and doing an analysis and answering all 9 questions. It is always wise to create a strategy that will win for your company. Since strategies are work in progresses, they do need to be altered from time to time. Each company needs a direction as far as to know where you are right now, where you want to be, when you want to be there, and how you need to get there. We have to adapt to changes just as our managers do. In order for us to create a winning strategy, everybody must be on board, because the pattern and actions of the business define a company strategy. After reviewing the case study, we feel that it was a broad differentiation strategy that Panera Bread had in place. They charged a premium price for their goods. They had a different, unique atmosphere, and they added on value that their customers felt it was worth paying the premium price for. Panera Bread defined their target market as urban and suburban audiences, with providing them a premium product with a cafe experience. They also wanted to reach their audience around the United States that showed they had a great and valued product. They aggressively expanded the market, and they improved their quality of dining experiences within the establishment. There was an identified group that spent considerable time in 1994 and 1995 traveling the country and studying the fast food market and quick service meals. Top managers at the Au Pain Institute, also known as Panera, wanted to create a specialty cafe that focused on fresh dough, artisan-style bread, upscale, and quick service to their establishment. By doing better than the guys across the street, Panera Bread had a specific strategic vision. They wanted to be the leader of the fast casual dining while opening new establishments and having a growth rate of 15 to 20% annually within the market. Strength. Fresh bread was delivered daily. The menu appealed to the target audience. There were various locations around North America. Not only were they company-owned, but they also had franchise-owned operations. And they had a strong executive team. For part of their weaknesses, we see that the prices were very high on their menu. We also saw that actually having the bread delivered was a weakness as well. And the type of products and menu items really only appealed to a specific audience. And there was a lot of competition around their stores as well. With all the competition around Panera Bread, we felt their opportunity was to be able to expand into a new market. By providing customers with a different menu or added menus would increase the awareness and the popularity that Panera Bread has to offer. With any company, there are always threats. Having their bread delivered, a threat might consist of the weather. If the weather becomes bad, the bread is not going to make it to the store. Therefore, there will be a decrease in sales that day. We also have companies that might move into the industry that can up one on Panera Bread. Panera Bread needs to realize and recognize the threats that are out there and constantly adapt to the changing industry.
Panera was able to recognize competitive pressures created from its rivals. They were able to realize who their rivals were and when they created the most competition, such as Starbucks creating the most competition in the morning and Applebee's creating the most competition in the evening. They were also able to react to this by creating more items to their evening menu to entice more visitors in the evening hours of the day.
What are the primary components of Panera Bread's value chain? A company's value chain identifies the primary activities it performs that create customer value and the related support activities. The primary activities include supply chain management, operations, distribution, sales and marketing, service, and profit margin. For Panera Bread, their primary activities include 24 facilities that supply fresh dough for breads and bagels on a daily basis to almost all of its company-owned and franchise bakery cafes. Another is distribution of fresh breads and bagel doughs through a leased fleet of about 200 temperature-controlled trucks. They also have arrangements with several different independent distributors to handle delivery of sweet goods and other products. They also obtain antibiotic-free chicken and organically grown items from 3 different suppliers. Other primary components of Panera Bread's value chain. Panera Bread also utilizes focus groups to market and determine customer food preferences and price points. They also increased their advertising expenditures and created systems to educate and prepare cafe personnel to respond to customers' questions. Each company has also programmed point-of-sale registers that collect and track different data and in-store application tools to assist managers in scheduling associates and placing online orders with their distributors. Panera Bread's financial performance. After analyzing Panera Bread's financial statements for 2011, I would have to say that they are doing well financially. The 3 ratios I calculated to come to this conclusion were their current ratio, working capital, and their PE ratio. After calculating these 3 ratios, I have come up with the following conclusions. Panera Bread's current ratio for 2011 was 1.48. A current ratio that is higher than 1.0 shows that the company is able to pay current liabilities using their assets. With Panera Bread's current ratio higher than 1.0, they do have a strong ability to pay off short-term obligations. Another area that Panera Bread is doing well in is their working capital. In 2011, their working capital was $114,785. The higher a company's working capital, the better. Panera Bread has a good amount of working capital to help pay off current liabilities on a timely basis and finance expanding their store locations. The third ratio in which they performed well in was their PE ratio. In 2011, their PE ratio was 30.72. This shows that their investors have strong confidence in them and their growth in the future. Not only does their PE ratio prove that they are continually growing, but after calculating their total revenue compounded growth rate from 2002 to 2011, it showed they have a growth rate of 59.4%. Despite the recession in 2008 and 2009, Panera Bread has been able to continually grow and increase their revenues.
Exhibit 2 shows that Panera is slowly increasing its brand and operating performance yearly, but franchise Panera Breads are slightly outperforming company-owned ones. But as stated before, this is because franchises are making greater use of long-term debt in their financing operations as compared to company-owned ones. You can also see that weekly sales generated from both franchised and company-owned stores have remained very similar throughout the years, and each year they expand their chain stores. There are now up to 1,068 stores and will continue to expand each year along with their revenues and operating performances. Panera's revenue segment shows that franchise operations do not contribute a lot of revenue to the Panera brand, roughly only 5%. But then when you look at the operating segment, you are able to see that the franchises, they are able to keep 93% of that profit generated from franchises operating profit. Whereas revenue generated from the company's bakery cafe operation, they only achieve 19% of operating profit. And in the asset segment, you will be able to see what Panera's assets are valued at yearly, and you will also see that their value of the assets are increasing because Panera is constantly expanding its company-owned stores and also adding more franchise opportunities to qualified individuals.
Based on the information, the restaurant chains that are Panera's closest rivals are varied and are based on the menu item, meal, and time of day. During breakfast, their competitors include Starbucks and McDonald's. Panera's lunch and dinner competitors include restaurant chains Chili's, Applebee's, Cracker Barrel, Ruby Tuesday, TGI Fridays, Chipotle Mexican Grill, and Five Guys Burgers and Fries. For bread and pastries, competition includes Corner Bakery Cafe, Atlanta Bread Company, local bakeries, as well as supermarket bakeries. The strategic issues and problems that Panera Bread management needs to address include increasing sales, at their company-owned bakery cafes, as well as increase the number of sales during dinner hours by ensuring customers that Panera offers the freshest ingredients and atmosphere. Panera should broaden their locations within the United States to build brand awareness. They should also expand their menu to offer more to customers, as well as changing the menu to attract new customers and continue to excite and inspire existing customers. Panera Bread has been making changes to win their customers back. Panera Bread has a 4-step plan to correct their narrowing profit margins and boost sales. This plan is meant to improve service and ultimately the overall customer experience. First, Panera Bread will be hiring more employees as well as give current employees more hours. Their purpose for this is that it will ease the staff and give them more time to attend to customers. Panera will also be spending millions of dollars to add to food preparation equipment to reduce wait times for customers. Panera will be creating a new menu. They will eliminate hard-to-produce items to reduce customers' confusion and their indecisiveness, which slows down the line at sale peak periods. This new menu has already been tested. Lastly, Panera will be building hubs that service 3 or 4 locations for catering. This will allow employees to focus on customers. This plan will take effect in 2014.
How Panera Bread can strengthen their competitive position. The first suggestion our team came up with was to broaden their target market and start expanding toward families. This would be similar to what Subway does, where they have a kids club to promote eating fresh. The second idea we came up with was adding take and bake products to their line. This way, they can save on the cost of utilities and possibly increase selling frozen breads. The third idea we came up with was expanding their customer base by offering some of their products at grocery stores, just like how Starbucks sells their coffees in a lot of different other stores. This may have the potential to significantly increase their revenues and their amount of customers. And the fourth idea we came up with was to offer a larger dinner and lunch selection to entice more people to choose them instead of Applebee's or other sit-down restaurants for those meals. By doing this, they will have an easier time influencing potential customers into their bakery instead of their competitors.
Panera Bread did use partnerships such as franchises, and they found qualified people to run these franchises. The franchise is a good thing for Panera Bread because it would expand its brand image with other people doing the work for them, and they also do collect a small portion from these franchises. Panera could strengthen its business prospects by continuing to achieve first mover advantage, by continuing to work hard on developing new menu items. They could also expand their catering services, and they could explore the health-conscious consumer market, such as offering gluten-free breads, and they could do a better job of controlling expenses to increase that 19% operating profit.